Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm just gonna make this little quick video talking about this interesting information here that came from, well, it came from ViewerAnon on Reddit, but Tristan here is where I saw it from on Twitter. And basically, it's some interesting information on a possible Scream 7 coming up here. So basically, before I get into it though, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, leave a like on the channel, subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate it. And we're just gonna dive right into it. But Tristan here, he said, movie insider ViewerAnon states that Scream 7 is already deep into writing. And then you see here what ViewerAnon said. They had 2.5 years between the filming of Scream 2022 and Scream 6. It feels much faster than it actually was when it comes to developing a sequel. And I've heard they're already deep into writing Scream 7. As a fan of Halloween Kills, I can promise you Scream 6 feels nothing like that. So it's some interesting things to take into consideration here, because ViewerAnon basically he's saying that Scream 7 is already deep into writing, which is the main thing I want to talk about here, because Scream 7, I mean, like that's we're like barely Scream 6 is barely gonna come out, and he's talking about a Scream 7 apparently already being deep into writing a Scream 7. Like that's just like mind blowing to me. And yeah, it's interesting. And I do think though that after Scream 6, possibly most likely, there's not gonna be like that much. Like there's gonna be at least some time before Scream. Like at least there's gonna be some time before Scream 6 and Scream 7. Scream 7 most likely will come out in like 2 years after Scream 6, like in probably 2025. And I think, or maybe 2026, I don't know, but I do think that they should take at least a 2-year break at least, just because, like just to kind of like, give a lot of us fans a break, and then come back with Scream 7 in 2025, 2 years later after Scream 6. I think that's like the perfect way to set it up, almost like how the sequels are, because with the original trilogy, the original Scream, of course, came out in 1996 of December. The second one came out basically a year later in December 1997, Scream 2. Then Scream 3, they kind of took like a 2-year break, and they, in 2000, February in 2000, that's when Scream 3 came out. And, so they kind of took a little bit of a 2-year gap right there. So I kind of feel like they should probably do the same thing with Scream. If they are already deep into writing Scream 7, like how the ViewerAnon is saying here, and, either way, like, because I'm sure eventually, not that long after Scream 6 comes out, like we're gonna get most likely official confirmation of Scream 7, and from the maybe Paramount or the Scream Twitter account, whoever, like we're gonna get official confirmation not that long after. I feel like after Scream 6 comes out, and about Scream 7 being already in development, just like how with Scream 6. But I think the difference here, though, is that Scream 7, like I said, they're probably going to take at least a 2-year break, a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3. I don't know. But I feel like they're going to probably take a break, a little bit of a, break between the movies with Scream 5, Scream 6, and Scream 7. And just to kind of like let a lot of the fans, kind of just like, process these movies before they release the final chapter of this new trilogy. So yeah, I feel like that's most likely what's going to happen. And I think it's probably the best choice for them to do as well. So, yeah, I think it's interesting, though. Like I said, that we're most likely, since ViewerAnon is saying that Scream 7 is already deep into writing, I do think that, with Scream 7, eventually when that movie releases, it's going to be like a big, just not when it releases, but like whenever Scream 7 gets announced to, be in development, it's gonna like once that officially gets confirmed by like, like the Scream Twitter account, the Scream account, if they confirm it, like a month later or 2 months later after Scream 6, it's gonna be huge, you know, and it's gonna be talked about by a lot of fans, of course. So yeah, it's gonna be fun and interesting because Scream, of course, is my favorite franchise. So I'm excited to hear this news. I really am, because more movies, more fun, more Scream. I'm all for it at this point. And so, I don't mind hearing this news. Of course, I know some fans are probably gonna be like, man, they're just rushing these sequels, and they're just like, trying to make money and all this stuff. Like they're not even actually caring about the actual product. But here's the thing, though. You just gotta just give some things. Like sometimes you just have to give things a chance before you actually say, because I get it, having concerns, and whatnot. But I know there's gonna be some fans that are just not gonna be happy about this, like Scream 7 being, with ViewerAnon saying right here that Scream 7 is already deep into writing, and that they're like it's sort of in development already. Like I know some fans are gonna be like, oh yeah, like this is just, they're just rushing it, and like they're gonna have, some fans are gonna have more of a negative response to this news than positive. And I, like I said, I understand for the most part the concerns, but sometimes, you know it's like with Scream 7, it might not even, because like Scream 1 and 2 came out like a year apart from each other, and Scream 3, like, it's not even that far apart from the first two movies either. Yeah, there was a little bit of a gap between Scream 2 and Scream 3. It's like a little 2 year gap, 2.5 years. But like that's not a big difference though, because compared to Scream 3 and 4, that's 11-year gap, and Scream 4 and 5, that's also another 11-year gap. So that's a big difference right there. And but like with Scream 1 and 2 and 3, they weren't that far apart from each other. So I feel like they're kind of doing that with, Scream 5, 6, and 7. They're like almost kind of doing the same thing. And so I feel like it can work, as long as, of course, stuff can be rushed and be messy. But at the same time, only time will tell, We had to, like, it just depends. Scream 6 is going to come out eventually. A lot of us fans are going to give our opinions and thoughts and theories and all that stuff, and just reviews. But and then of course, for the most part, I felt like that'll kind of determine with some fans of whether they want a Scream 7 or not. But either way, I feel like whether if I like a movie or not, I still want it to be successful, and I still would want my franchise to continue, and of course, franchises can run themselves into the ground. I mean, I'm sure, like, I know that. But at the same time, though, I want the Scream franchise to be successful and continue. And, that's basically, for me, that's what I want. Of course, I don't want the franchise to go to, like, Scream 50 and whatnot. But like, I wouldn't. Wait, my bad, guys. Wait, hold on. Yeah, my bad, guys. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, basically, like, you know, like what I was saying, I wouldn't want the franchise to go to like Scream 50 or something like that. But you know, like I want the franchise to like go on for as long as it can, though, as long as it could, and be successful. You know, so that's what I want for a franchise that I love and care about. So whether if I like a movie or not, you know, doesn't really matter. Like Scream 3, like, you know, that may not be my favorite sequel, but it's not a bad movie. And it's I'm glad that that movie for the most part was successful. It made a lot of money. It made more than Scream 4. Scream 4 was actually the least successful in the box office. So, you know, I'm glad Scream 3 succeeded with the box office, even though it's not my favorite sequel, but I still think it's a good movie, and I'm glad it succeeded and made a lot of money. So it's kind of the same thing here, you know. So yeah, you know, let me know what you guys think though. I'm excited, you know, just for all this news and a possible Scream 7. And yeah, I'm all for it at this point, you know. And I got some more news and information I want to talk about. Some images, some Scream 6 images that recently came out, and apparently the social embargo has been lifted. So there's gonna be early reviews for Scream 6 coming out soon. So I'm gonna try to be careful for that, because I know that there's gonna be some fans that are gonna see the movie early that might end up trying to spoil it. So be careful going on social media now at this point, you know, for those of you watching, like, be careful, because now that there's going to be there's going to be a lot of early reviews, you already know there's going to be some fans that are going to try to spoil the movie, you know. So be careful for that. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.